Hi everyone, welcome to Real Talk, the show that has anything and everything to do with movies. I'm your host, Danielle. Today, we are taking a look at the local film release from a few amateur film students entitled Concealment of Fate. Joining us today is the writer and director of the project, Joey Lisa. Hi Joey, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Concealment of Fate.
Well, Concealment of Fate is my first professional project. We made it for the Philadelphia and Indie Film Festivals, which we just recently entered them in, so we're waiting to see how we do in the results. We filmed all over Berks County. Reading Airport, different local businesses let us use their buildings to film. So it was a really big group effort, and we have our final product of Concealment of Fate.
Well, good luck in your competitions.
Well, thank you.
So this film had no budget.
It
was just you guys behind the cameras. Mm-hmm. How did you get it to look so cinematic?
We had a great variety of camera angles. We had 2 cameras. We just used a basic still shot and then had our second camera get all the creative shots. So it took a good number of takes, but that's how we achieved the cinematic look.
How long did it make to even write the script?
Writing the script took roughly about 2 months, developing the story and figuring out how everything was pieced together. And then I brought it here, and a couple friends of mine wanted to help with the project, so we just moved on from there.
All right. Well, what was the hardest thing about making this movie?
The hardest thing was getting permission to film at locations where you can't really pay them to film there. So it took a lot of negotiations and a lot of work to get into the locations.
What was your favorite location to shoot at?
Definitely the airport. The airport, it was awesome. We got to see private jets coming in. We got to film on a private jet, which was really, really cool. We filmed in the 1930s control tower, which was a lot of fun. We were there probably most of the time on the shoot. But it was a great place to shoot at.
Well, now let's see some of this movie firsthand. Here are a few clips from Concealment of Fate.
Life of a criminal takes its toll on the victim. It blinds you, letting you see only the next job on the list. For Matt Walker, this life comes to a halt when a distraction crosses him. But to have a second chance at his future, he must first confront his past. Concealment of Fate.
All right. Joining us now are 3 of the main actors in this film. We have Zach Gause, Matt Chua, and Matt Holland. Welcome to the show.
What's up? Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So I'll ask you all this. Is this your first involvement in a film?
Yeah. I speak for everybody, yes.
Is that?
Not for me. I've been in quite a few films before this, so.
Could you name some of them?
Can I? I was in a film called Bite Night, The Moment of Truth, the Andy Meyer story. I worked on a television pilot before.
Was this anything like working on?
Character-wise, no. This is a completely different character that I've ever been, that I ever played before at all. I never was a boss, so I was like, oh, that'd be fun.
Matt, you said yes. What was it like working on the film?
It was pretty interesting because I've never acted before, cameras and everything. I was like, it was really weird because I had to portray this character, which kind of, for me, it wasn't really acting.
It was you?
Yeah, it really was me because, I got to act like this conceited, add whatever kind of word you want to put after that.
Angry.
Yes, angry. But it was pretty much acting like myself. So, I mean, it was good and not, so I loved it.
Matt, same question?
Yeah, I mean, it was my first film. I mean, I did acting here and there, back in high school and stuff like that, but nothing serious like this project. This is totally different character than I've ever played. I'm not used to being the good guy role, but it was definitely fun and a great experience.
Was it easy to work with these guys, or how was it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've known him forever. He's one of my good friends, and when he came on the set, it was just like natural. basically.
Yeah,
It was
it's fun
easy.
working with everybody.
I beg to differ. I don't like any. No, I'm just playing. No, they're all real good. They're all
You know
good.
what? This is the worst group of cast I've ever worked with.
I never want to do this ever again.
So you all three hang out after all set? Out of the set?
Well, we actually just met him like through the movies, so
Yeah.
you know we had a few conversations. It was cool because we all had like the same like kind of sense of humor and the same type of personality. So it was really easy to like click. And then I knew him like since college and everything, so it was felt like family almost because everybody else we worked with was all chill.
Aw.
Yes, sentimental.
So cute.
What was the hardest part working on this movie?
This one in particular, the one scene where I was yelling at him, actually the day before, earlier that day I got in a car accident. So I was kind of like messed up. Like I couldn't remember my lines and I was like I had like a minor concussion. I was kind of banged up. So trying to act and play a character where I'm like kind of injured
Concussed.
and and kind of just like out of it was probably the most challenging part.
The show
Other than
must
that,
go on.
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Trooper.
Yeah, just
Well,
about to say that.
What was the hardest part for you guys?
You can go next.
The hardest part for me is probably just really trying to get into the character because it was kind of a last minute thing. I just heard, that Joey needed help. So I was like, yeah, I'll jump in, I'll do a movie for you. And I got the script like 3 hours beforehand. And I was like, I don't even know what's going on. Let's just hope I can adapt well. And I mean, it was a lot of work, but I think it turned out pretty decently.
You did a really good job.
Well, thank you.
What about you?
The hardest part.
Not laughing
I don't-
while we were yelling.
Yeah, because my infamous line was where I had to get like so angry and like yell like I want him dead, and it was really really hard to try and be serious, real serious because I'm never serious ever in my life. So that was probably the hardest part, like trying to I want him dead. But other than that, it was good.
How would you compare working on a film, whether comparing it to like a theater production, like on stage actually? Any?
Well, okay, all right, I'll go, I guess.
Okay.
Well, the thing about theater is you don't have any takes. You just got to do it, and you got to do it right, and then hope it all pans out okay in the end.
So that would have been hard for Chua here.
Yeah, because he probably would laugh at everything.
I did plays. I got it twisted. I did
But yeah,
plays.
I think working on a film in ways makes it a little bit easier because if you mess up, you get that second chance.
One thing I noticed about between working with film and theater, in theater, you have a whole audience in front of you, and there's people in the back of the theater that can't really see you, so you have to be big, arm gestures, body language. You have to kind of act with your body as well, as opposed to film is more facial expressions. Kind of keeping it subtle, just letting you know by your look, eyes, face, all that kind of stuff. You're not very like big or throwing your arms in the air like I am right now. You know what I mean? So I found that was a big transition from when I used to do theater when I went into film.
Yeah, I mean, I know like on my standpoint, because I did like plays and stuff, but I wasn't like did a lot of acting. I was more of like the action, like stunt type person. But I know like coming from like a music thing, because I perform like in front of like a lot of like crowds and big audiences and stuff like that. The way that transitions is like I feed off of what the crowd gives me back, so it's nice. I can work with them. But the problem is like with motion pictures and stuff like that, it's like you got to pull all that out of absolutely out of absolutely nothing. So it's just like, okay, I got to be this type of person. But I'm so used to like that
Do you
feeling.
find it hard to get in touch with your character and transition kind of into your character when all the chaos is going around you?
What, like in the music or like in this particular film?
In general.
In the music, it's not, because it's very natural. Like the more chaos I get out there, actually, I thrive off of. So the more energy I get from that, I do better. I get a lot more crazier. When it comes to this in particular, I think because of like the way my character was in this movie, it was like I could actually like see myself kind of acting like the character was actually like myself kind of, it wasn't as hard. I would say maybe like if I had like something else to do, I think it would probably be a lot harder because it would have to take a lot more like concentration and trying to dig deep to find like somebody else, not me, but act out like the other person.
Zach, do you agree with that, or? Do you
Yeah,
have
I do. Well, because when you're, acting, you're obviously trying to play a different character. So you kind of got to build up, you got to think, be, and act like that person. Not necessarily, some people do it offset as well. But in preparation, I, try to pretend like, I'm going around talking to everybody like, I'm just pretending I was a boss. I was just mean to everybody, bossing everybody around, trying to get into the character. Not really, but like I kind of try to think like that person, like I'm this rich, boss character. And but just like what he was saying with theater and being on stage, because I, have my whole life I was on stage, and when the crowd, like, because I was used to like not seeing the crowd, like you wouldn't really see anybody, but you knew where they were there, and like their reaction, I would get like all amped up from it. And then the first time I was on camera, I was just like, I had like 5 people in front of me, and I'm like, because it's like so much more because the eyes are like right there on you.
should have made them cheer for you.
Yeah, I should have.
Well, Matt, you said it was hard for you. It was different playing a good guy for you. Was it harder to get into character then, or?
Yes and no, because I mean, I don't know why, but I like to think I'm a good guy, but for some reason when it comes to acting, when it comes to acting, I'm much better at playing the arrogant jerk. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. But so it was kind of easy for my regular personality to come through as the good guy, but at the same time, because I'm used to playing the arrogant guy, I had to like make adjustments and everything. But overall, I think it turned out all right, and I just think that hopefully at some point I'll get to play the bad guy in the future.
Well, today we're also announcing that there's the ending cliffhanger. There's coming out with a sequel.
Yes.
Do you guys have anything for us to expect, or any little hints?
It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. I think all the characters that you saw in the first one all come back, making retake their roles, and it'll be interesting. I think you'll get a more in-depth look at each character instead of now you get like a glimpse of what they were like, and I think the movie this time will give a little more. I don't know, help me out, fellas. I can't find that word.
Kind of answer the questions that you had at the end, like what happened, whose is this, what's that. I think you'll get a little bit more insight on each person because, basically the first film was kind of like introduction to everybody, and it was like kind of character build up. Now that you kind of know who's who, I think it will be a little bit more interesting to see a little bit more into the person rather than just what they're about.
Do you think Matt here will turn bad in the movie? Can you give us a hint about that, or?
I think I might make him cry in this one, though. I don't really know too much about it. But.
Honestly, I haven't really seen any of the new script yet, so I'm not sure what to expect for my character to do, but I'm very excited to pick up the role again, and I'm excited to see how we're going to top the last film, because between the acting and then the crew and just everything that went on, it was just an amazing amateur film that was made. So I'm excited to see how it gets topped, because you always got to outdo what you did last. So.
Well, good luck on this, and for the next part of it, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's all the time we have today. If you would like to see the finished project of Concealment of Fate, visit their YouTube page, Lightning Studio Pro, or catch it out www.lightningstudiosdj.webs.com. Thank you, and see you next time.